हाँ बस बस राहू दे, आपल्याला चांगलं मिळालं आता शॉट. जाऊ दे बाबा, हे साईड वर यार.
And film star Salman Khan has left the Sessions Court in Mumbai. Curious onlookers tracking Salman Khan. His fans are driving behind him, riding on their scooters, on their motorcycles. Journalists, this could well be risky, but such is his star power. The big Friday release is Salman Khan himself. This week, Salman Khan out of Sessions Court, now set to be heading home. And that is a big relief that comes for Salman Khan. He's furnished a bail bond of 30,000 rupees. In case he wants to travel abroad, he will have to take permission from the court. He will have to inform the court. Not only that, he will also have to, as of now, what we're being told, deposit his passport in court, get clearance before he wants to travel abroad. He has a week's time to furnish this surety of 30,000 rupees. The big story we're tracking here on headlines today is Salman Khan released on bail, and those are pictures of the superstar coming out of court just a short while back after furnishing that bail bond. The process took less than 20 minutes. A very relieved Salman Khan. Of course, no expression on his face, and that is something he's very, very careful about at this point of time. He remained closeted with his legal team throughout. Large pose of policemen around his SUV. But then there are also his fan lookers, journalists all out there. Not just to catch a glimpse of Salman Khan, perhaps some were hoping that he'd stop and talk to them. Fans, of course, also taking flowers for Salman Khan, but no reaction whatsoever on the film star's face. It's been a difficult time, but the big question also here on headlines today, justice for Salman Khan. What about the victims of that road accident? Nurullah Khan's family is still waiting for compensation. A short while back, they were on headlines today. They said they haven't got a single rupee yet. Salman Khan, of course, had deposited 19 lakh rupees in court after the accident. Headlines today is Mayuresh now joins me with the latest on the phone line. Also with me is Headlines today is Ankit Tyagi. Mayuresh, a much relieved Salman Khan. Take us through the latest.
Certainly, Gaurav, much relieved Salman Khan. We saw he was sitting at the front seat of his Mercedes Benz SUV, MH462727. The car has just left for Bandra at his Galaxy residence. And say within next 30 to 45 minutes, Salman Khan will reach at his residence. We saw very calm and cool Salman Khan, and what we heard from our reporters inside, even they saw Salman Khan hugging his lawyer over there, and a very relieved and very calm Salman Khan we got to see after many days. Back to you.
Okay, a relieved Salman Khan indeed, was Ankit. Last 48 hours were full of tension for Salman Khan. It was touch and go. Well, just before the verdict, though he got 48 hours interim bail, but even this morning, it could have gone either ways for him.
Absolutely, but Gaurav, somewhere the defense lawyers were very confident. They were saying that we have enough points to get Salman Khan out on bail. Very quickly, Gaurav, let me also tell you what happened inside. My colleague Munish, in fact, came out and he gave us a lowdown of what happened inside. So Salman Khan first went to the court of Justice D.W. Deshpande. There he spent about 10 minutes, signed a few papers there. From that, he was directed to the registrar's office. He went to the registrar's office, and there it took just about 5 to 7 minutes for him to finalize all the formalities for his bail. But very interestingly, what Munish was telling me, even at the registrar's office, there were all these, the employees in that office, the security people, they were more happy to see Salman Khan. They wanted pictures clicked with him. So that was, in fact, what was going on, and that probably held Salman Khan for a few more minutes. Then he tried to move from the court. He was allowed to go. He went to the lift, although he could not take the lift. Then he went through the stairs, came down, and very interestingly, Vidya, my colleague who's still inside the courtroom, has sent me a message saying that there were women who were shouting, "I love you, Salman." So there are still fans following him right inside the courtroom where Salman came just to sign his bail bond. And that's the kind of fan following that Salman Khan has. On one hand, there are these people, those who do not see anything wrong in Salman Khan. He's the big film star who is very generous and who is, in fact, always giving. On the other hand, there are these 5 families, there are these other cases on Salman Khan. He has the bad boy image. There are many people, those who believe that today somehow it has been a rich versus poor debate. It has been because Salman Khan had the resources, but you have to give it to his lawyers. They went through the entire legal process. It was 13 years that this case came to this stage. But yes, Gaurav, a big day of relief for Salman Khan, but the battle is not yet, the war in fact is not over yet.
So what happened in the court today, Ankit? Give us the details of what happened in High Court earlier, the argument, the counter argument of both the prosecution and the defense, and ultimately Justice Thipse weighing in favor of defense and granting bail.
Well, right from the time word go, the defense, when they started their argument, their line of offense was very clear. They went ahead, the prime witness in this case, Rabindra Patil, who was the police constable, also the complainant in this case. He was the one who had said that Salman Khan was driving the car at 90 kilometers per hour. He was drunk, and despite his advice of him not driving, he did not heed to that advice. So they completely demolished, point by point, the testimony that this bodyguard had in fact given. He first started by saying that the bodyguard had said that they were driving at 90 kilometers per hour from JW Barrier to Bandra, where his house is. It wouldn't have taken them half an hour if he was driving at that speed. They also said that the judge completely disregarded the testimony of few witnesses who saw 4 people, not 3, inside the car. So they wanted to drive home the point that Ashok Singh, the driver who was introduced in this case very late by the defense, and it was their only defense witness, was the one who was driving the car that day. They used some paper reports in which, newspaper reports of that time, in which the theory of 4 people was propagated. Then they also went back and said that why wasn't Kamal R. Khan, who was the other person in that car, who would have been very crucial in establishing who all were inside the car, who was driving the car, why wasn't he cross-examined by the prosecution? On that, the prosecution, the judge, in fact, at one point also, Judge Thipse said that don't go into these details, just tell me why should he be getting bail. After that, the kind of observation the judge made, he only asked the prosecution to tell him why should Salman Khan not get bail. It is the right of the accused to get bail. If he's been on bail for last 12 years, it doesn't seem that he's going to run away from this place. The only argument that the prosecution could put forward was that Section 304 Part 2 is a serious section, and Salman Khan should not be allowed to go in.
In fact, that again was an aspect, Ankit, that the judge pointed out. Of course, he said it would be taken up subsequently, but why was 304 Part 2, which is culpable homicide not amounting to murder, put later in this case? And that, the defense said, smacked of ulterior motives.
Absolutely. The judge, in fact, said that the 304 Part 2 is not usually, and I repeat, that is observation he made, is not usually put in accident cases. So somehow you already got a feel of where this judgment was going. The judge also said that I cannot, both the parties want an expeditious trial. So on that, I cannot take Salman Khan's right for freedom away, for bail away at this point of time. So this has been the main argument, and Gaurav, this has also given us a glimpse of the kind of arguments that will be made by the defense and the kind of, the thinking that the judge Thipse has, because it will be his court that will be seeing this entire petition challenging the conviction and sentence of Salman Khan in 2002 hit-and-run case that he has been found guilty by the lower court here.
Now, of course, in this case, this matter comes up once again in July. So from now till July, Salman Khan is free to do what he wants. So he can finish his Bajrangi Bhaijaan. He can film the Suraj Barjatya movie that he's doing. He's free to shoot all that he wants. Any word on compensation for the victims of that road accident?
Well, of course, Salman Khan is now free till the time this petition is disposed of. But no word on the compensation because today, of course, High Court was not going to say anything about the compensation. It was a bail hearing. As far as the Sessions Court is concerned, Justice G.W. Deshpande has in fact given an argument in his order in which he said that 19 lakh rupees were asked by the court from the accused to be submitted in the High Court, and that has been done in 2002. So he said it will be unfair to ask the accused for further compensation. That is where, as far as the legal aspect of the compensation stands, no new compensation being given to the people, those who were suffered in this accident. Whether Salman Khan can reach out to them, because the families have been saying that they do not want him to go to jail, but they want some sort of a financial help from Salman Khan so that they can put their lives together. This is something that we'll have to wait and see, because now I believe, and I might, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that if Salman Khan even helps them, he is not going to be held accountable in trying to somehow, influence the entire proceedings of the case, because now one judgment has already been pronounced.
Indeed. In fact, Nurullah's son was on the broadcast with us here, Ankit, on Headlines Today, and he said what has happened has happened. Nurullah's widow was also with us, and she said whatever has happened, my husband will not come back once again, but I would be happy if we were given the 10 lakh rupees we were promised by those close to Salman Khan, so that we can once again restart our lives, and my son, who could never go to school, complete education, and now works as a laborer, can perhaps have a better life. So you've been speaking to Salman's family and friends. Any forward movement on that front?
Well, it's difficult to say as of now, and it doesn't look likely as of now, because in the last 13 years, Gaurav, the family has never interacted with the victims, not directly. They have not interacted with the victims, and as of now, I believe that Salman and his fans and family are extremely enthusiastic with the kind of response that they have got. But I do not see in the near future them getting ahead and offering them some sort of compensation. Whether what they have been hearing on TV, that does they take in account, and whether it creates some sort of they want to go and help out, we'll have to wait and see. But as of now, it seems unlikely.
Okay, so now that he's out of the Sessions Court, he's now heading home, and three pictures that our viewers see on the television screen at this point of time are Salman Khan in the Sessions Court, Salman Khan driving home, and even before he gets home, celebrations at the Galaxy apartment at Bandra. So that is the big story as far as the Friday release is concerned. Salman Khan out of jail, Salman Khan is out on bail, and then he has till July for regular arguments in this case, for regular bail, and the appeal to be taken up in the Superior Court. Now, in all of this, Ankit, there are members of parliament like Satyapal Singh, former Mumbai Police Commissioner, who say this verdict sends out the message that poor did not get justice. Ankit, Satyapal Singh, member of parliament and former Mumbai Police Commissioner, he says the message that goes out is that poor did not get justice.
And Gaurav, let me tell you, he's not the only one. In fact, if you go through Twitter, the opinion on Salman Khan's verdict is completely divided. There are people, those who are his fans, those who are saying that just because he's Salman Khan, an example has been made out of him. On the other hand, there are many those who are saying that the Bollywood fraternity is only trying to project themselves as victims and not actually doing or thinking anything about the victims. I saw some Twitter comments on people saying that for those who thought that justice in this case will be done, it's a sad day that Salman Khan has been let off. In fact, in the morning, there were pavement dwellers who came outside the Bombay High Court, and they were protesting, saying that the kind of comments that have been made by Salman Khan's friends and the people in industry about pavement dwellers, absolutely unacceptable. They believe that because they are poor people, almost a blame was being put on them, that they were the ones
Ankit,
who were
stay with me for a moment. These are very interesting pictures and I want to talk about these pictures for a moment. Salman Khan at a traffic light, and look at the number of curious onlookers and fans. His bodyguard Shera virtually having to lean out of the car, trying to stop people from getting so close. But the expression on their faces, people actually coming out to get a picture with Salman Khan, taking his pictures on their mobile phone, getting a selfie with Salman Khan, running along his car. That's the kind of enthusiasm, and this is just happening at a red light. Some people abandoning whatever they were doing just to follow his cavalcade, and that's an impromptu cavalcade we see on the streets of Mumbai. Impromptu cavalcade of Salman fans, and that is the power of this Dabang star on the streets of Mumbai. For a moment, let's try and listen in to what's happening on Ground Zero. Onlookers trying to get as close to Salman Khan's Mercedes SUV as they can. And Ankit, it all got wrapped up in 24 minutes. The bailed superstar now heads to Galaxy apartment. Yeah. But that big debate continues to rage. Do we have two sets of principles adopted in this country? One for superstars, one for the Aam Aadmi.
Absolutely, that's the debate right now, and also the way people have seen in the last 48 hours with the way how swiftly this entire act of defense for Salman Khan has moved. They are questioning that if you are high and mighty, if you have money, you can get away with that quickly. Very quickly, let me just speak to Vidya. Gaurav, she was inside at the time when Salman Khan came in.
Okay.
Vidya, it was a very, very quick entry and exit. Salman Khan came in 15 minutes. He was out of that court and went to Registrar's Court.
That's when that really happens when you have efficient team of legal. The lawyers had prepared everything for him. He just had to come in. He was present right when D.W. Deshpande, the judge, came out of the, he came on the podium and he said that, okay, the bail is granted. That was just minutes of it. And after that, he just had to go to the registrar, sign the papers, and that was the end of it. The only time, in fact, the reason why it took 15 minutes was because there were people following. There were fans and, he couldn't move around. The police had to cordon him off. They tried to go towards the lift. The lift doesn't work. More fans pouring in, so they moved Salman towards the stairs. All that things was happening.
Crazy fans. But they're also very quickly.
I heard women shouting, "Salman, I love you," right in the middle of the court.
That's in the middle of the court. But they also, what was the body language of Salman Khan and the family also? Sister, I believe, was inside. What was the body language compared to 6th when they came and today?
Salman has been maintaining that same look. He's just got that stoic expression all the time. He just probably emotes more on the television and on the film rather than in the court. But as and when, in fact, as I was telling you, the way they were trying to move Salman from the lift to the stairs and take him around, and with the entire fan following, and the irritation that was quite visible. He was getting irritated, but that was the only thing which that changed his expression. Yeah. But the family, they stood by him. Alvira was there. She was just extremely thankful to the entire way the things have unfolded. Salman is back at home.
Did you speak to her? Did they say anything off record?
Well, they've been just thankful. They just want to say that this is, they just said that this is really good what has really happened. They're really happy.
Ankit and Vidya, stay with me for a moment. That big debate that's raging here in Delhi, and the question, did Salman Khan take advantage or get advantage of being a superstar? That's the question that we are not asking, but it's the former Union Home Secretary and BJP MP R.K. Singh. He's raised this question. Did Salman Khan get the advantage of being a celebrity? Let's listen in.
सलमान खान को जमानत के मामले पर बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ पूर्व होम सेक्रेटरी आर.के. सिंह और बीजेपी सांसद सर, जिस तरह से जमानत मिली है, पहले अंतिम जमानत और पूरी जमानत, किस तरह से इस मामले को देखते हैं? आपको लगता है कि जल्दबाजी?
जबकि अपील एडमिट हो जाता है तो अमूमन जमानत दिया जाता है, जब तक कि ये कोई मानने का अधिकार नहीं हो कि हाँ साहब से वो एक्सपाउंड करेगा. हाँ, स्पीड सरप्राइजिंग है. क्योंकि अगले ही दिन अपील की सुनवाई हो जाए और कोर्ट एक फाइंडिंग पर आ जाए, ये सरप्राइजिंग है।
सर, इसको लेकर भी विवाद है कि सेलिब्रिटी होने का फ़ायदा उनको मिला है इस पूरे मामले में, क्योंकि पहले जिस तरह सुनवाई हुई 5 साल की सज़ा के बावजूद उनको जमानत मिली है।
नहीं, देखिए नॉर्मली वो जो भी केसेस अपील्स फाइल होते हैं, नॉर्मली कोर्ट्स उसको सीक्वेंस में सुनते हैं। जो पहले अपील फाइल हुआ वो पहले सुना जाता है, जो बाद में फाइल हुआ उसको बाद में सुना जाता है। तो ये देखना होगा कि ये इसमें क्या हुआ। अगर वो सीक्वेंस टूटा है तो सरप्राइजिंग है। थैंक यू।
But it's not just R.K. Singh, the former Home Secretary and a BJP MP. Another BJP MP who was former Mumbai Police Commissioner, Satyapal Singh. He's also raised questions. In fact, Satyapal Singh says, is the message going out that the poor did not get justice? Let's listen in.
पैसे वाले लोग, जिनके रसूख हैं, वे लोग, उनको जो है अंत में अंतिम रूप से सज़ा मिलना बड़ा कठिन काम है। हमारे देश के जो डिफेंस काउंसिल्स हैं, एडवोकेट लोग हैं, उन लोगों ने इस तरह की एक स्ट्रेटजी को बिल्कुल पेटेंट किया हुआ है, ऐसा कहना चाहिए कि वो किसी भी कोर्ट का जजमेंट को, निर्णय को फाइनल नहीं मानना, अंतिम नहीं मानना।
We will continue to track this story and this raging debate across the country. Special status for superstars, and we're not just talking about Salman Khan. Bail, is it easier for those with a huge legal team, with legal luminaries? Is that what is happening in this country? That debate and much more.